I'll be dead honest, it was really, really tough because it's quite time intensive, and I think you get out of things what you put in. I really wanted to engage with this, find out lots more from like the research element of it, what was going on and how I could improve as a leader, but it made me more organised with my time as well, and it made me realise like what's most important in my role as head of school in this job and as a director of a teaching school alliance as well. Actually, it helped me prioritise what I was doing when you're having to juggle so many different things at once. So I think in terms of my skill set for organising my time, I think that has improved as a result of the programme. So I chose something quite meaty. I wanted to look at improving middle leadership across the school, basically. So it was in enhancing the role of the subject leader, because I think there was an improvement area that I wanted to make sure that we had consistency across our subjects in how they're monitored, how we include like a team teach approach. So there's still that high level of challenge for staff in the school, but low threat. With people coming up with judgments between themselves alongside subject leaders when they're monitoring. But I think it was more so about the strategy across the school, having like this is our 1 year plan, this is our 2 year plan for our specific subjects basically. And the impact of that so far has been really pleasing because we've now got subject leaders who are really confident to speak in front of governors, they've got all of their paperwork up to date, and there's clear improvement areas that they're now deciding on themselves, clear success criteria because of the things that were put in place with the project. Going out to another school was absolutely fantastic because I was learning from a really experienced head who does things slightly differently to what I've ever known in my main home school, and it's been absolutely brilliant to go to a completely different context, different sort of catchment area, and my focus for that particular project was completely different to what I did here, but it was brilliant because I managed to take all of that learning from there, and I'm now using resources that are made to improve reading for more able children in that school with our children here. I think as a result of the NPQH, I've learned to just step back, assess and reflect on what I'm actually doing as a leader. It's provided that time for me. It's always so fast in a school environment, you're moving from one thing to the next, so to actually take that dedicated time to reflect on how I am as a leader, how other people perceive me as a leader, it's been really beneficial to me. And it's made me slow down and think about how clear I am when I'm giving instructions to staff or when I'm thinking about the whole strategic overview of the school, how to go about doing that. That's just been really, really useful to slow down, step back, use a lot of my research and the reading that I've had through the whole programme itself. All of the great stuff that I learned from the face-to-face days and conversations with my facilitator online, I've just packaged all of that up, and it's enabled me just to become a better leader, I think, this year. I would say that a key strength of the programme for me would be the support from my facilitator, who was available by email at any time if I wanted to ask her something. We had lots of face-to-face days where we'd go meet as a cluster, but then if you wanted to stay behind and have a one-to-one chat, which I did a few times, asking for advice, I've just found my facilitator really knowledgeable, great experience, and someone that I could turn to if I needed to ask anything. In terms of the blended learning approach, it was quite useful that you had that time on an evening to log into the system, basically have a look at the reading, do some of your assignments, but I found doing that was quite hard, to be honest, because there's a lot there that you have to try and access. You've got to pick and choose what you want to access. But what was really beneficial were the face-to-face meetings that we had, because you got to know lots of other people in a very similar position to myself, so it was great just to get around a table and feedback what was working well. So I found those face-to-face events really, really useful, but at the same time as well, then knowing those people, speaking to them when we were doing our online seminars and things like that, I thought that was great as well. So it worked quite nicely for me. I'd say meeting other people in a similar situation to myself, coming across other people that maybe, they've been a deputy for a while now, taking that step up. I'd come onto the programme already been in like the head of school role for a number of years already, but I've never had that opportunity just to step back and actually speak to other people who were in a similar position to myself. So that was really, really useful to have that mix of primary colleagues and secondary colleagues as well, to find out how they do things in their school. I think my first piece of advice would be make sure you give yourself the time you need in order to do it, because you've got to put your whole heart into it, to reap good rewards from it, I'd say.